So in the classes we write, we want to be able to use the stream insertion and stream extraction operators. So let me set this up. So notice here we're using print. Ideally, what we would like to be able to do is write cout T1 indel, and also instead of using T1.enter, we would like to be able to use cnt1. And the advantage of this is that it makes the code for our classes look like the code for some of the other elements in C++, like integers and strings. So in order to do this, we have to overload the stream insertion and stream extraction operators. And we do that by implementing a function instead of a method. And one way of doing that is to implement a friend function. And that's how we're going to do it. First of all, we're doing that to teach you about friend functions. And then also we can refer directly to some of the data members instead of going through the public interface. Now I went through this in the video lecture, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing again since it's a little complicated. But we declare friend functions by using the keyword friend, and we're going to, for the stream insertion operator, we're returning an O stream. The first parameter is a reference to an O stream that I'm calling out, and we can pass in a constant reference to a time object because when we output or when we insert into the stream, we don't need to change the time object. For the extraction operator, we're returning a reference to an I stream. That operator is the extraction operator, and then we have passing in as the first parameter a reference to an I stream. And since we're extracting a time object, we need to be able to change the second parameter. So that is how we declare overloaded operators that are functions and friend functions. So I usually implement these below my methods for the class. And in the implementation, we don't include the friend keyword. So let's start with this one. So the first rookie mistake, always remember to return out. Very important. And we're just going to print a time object in exactly the same way that we printed for the print method. And to do that, I am now writing to out. So again, don't forget to use this parameter. Sometimes people will slip and say cout. Well, if you're printing to the console, it will look correct. But if you try to print to some other output stream like a file, it won't work. So make sure you use the parameter. And we're simply going to write the hour of the time object, followed by the colon. Followed by the minutes. And we're referring directly to the private data member hours of the time object, and we're doing the same thing here. Now we're not formatting this properly, so let's do that. So if time hours is less than 10, then I want to write a leading 0. Then I can print my hours, then I can print the colon, and now I have to do a similar check for minutes. And there's the implementation of my stream insertion operator. Let me just check to see if this works. See if I have any compiler errors. Okay. And so I don't have any compiler errors, so let's look at what should be happening here. And let me just print. So here I've got a time object T1. I'm going to print it, and then I'm going to use the stream insertion operator to also print T1. So I should see exactly the same thing twice. 7 and then colon 12. Well, I saw it once. There we go. Right, because I added the second print and I didn't recompile. Okay, so this is from the print method, and then this is from the overloaded operator. So now let's go to work on the other overloaded operator, the extraction operator. So that's going to return an iStream, a reference to an iStream, and we're implementing the extraction operator. First parameter is a reference to an iStream called in, and I'm going to need to change this parameter, the time parameter, so it has to go in as a reference. Rookie mistake, don't forget to return in. So I need a character to read the colon. Again, I could be tempted to do something like this, but you're avoiding all of your integrity checks for minutes. So what I want to do is I want to declare local variables. Then I'm going to read into those. I'm going to do a quick check to make sure that I actually read in my colon. And if that's true, then I'm going to pass my new hours into set hours. And that's where the integrity check will occur. Just like that. See if I have any syntax errors. I don't. Okay, so let's go take a look at this code. So here I'm going to cin a T1 or cin into T1. Maybe I'll print these twice just to see what I get. So I should see 7:12 here. Then I'll enter a new time, and then I should see that time here. So there's 7:12. I'll type in 5:16, so I should see 5:16 again. Now I'm seeing 7:12. Let me type in an incorrect value, like 45 colon 72. I should see 7:12 again, and that's what I see. So my integrity checks are getting applied even though I'm calling the stream extraction operator. Now, one thing that bothers me about this implementation is I have very similar code in two different places. So if you look at my extraction operator, it looks almost exactly like my enter method, right? So here's my enter method, and it looks exactly like my stream extraction operator. If you look at my print method, it looks very similar, almost identical to my stream insertion operator. So one thing I could probably do at this point is I could refactor this. So maybe you can get this operator to call the print method of this time object. Maybe you could get this operator to call the enter method of this time object. There might be ways to get the enter method to call this operator. There might be ways to get the print method of the time object to call this operator. So anytime you have identical code in two different places, that's when you need to start thinking about alternative design and implementations. So that's how we overload stream insertion, stream extraction operators.